Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the IUCN Unite for Nature Pavilion. Today on Energy Day at COP28. We hope that we're going to provide you with an exciting hour of panel discussions, of presentations, and hopefully you will leave this event energized around the GINGR initiative, which we'll be launching today. As I mentioned, it's Energy Day, and one of the, I think, key messages that we can all agree on coming out of COP28 is that we are very much not on target to meet the climate goals that have been designated around the Paris Agreement. And if we are going to have any chance of meeting these goals, we're going to have an rapid, accelerated rollout of renewable energy. But we also know that to meet the climate goals, we also require healthy ecosystems. We need healthy ecosystems that can act as carbon sinks and that can provide adaptation opportunities. One without the other doesn't work. In addition, the climate change issue is a global issue. No one region or stakeholder group has all the answers, and no one region or group wins without everybody else winning. We all win or we all lose. And that's why we are here today. As IUCN, we have spent over 75 years working together, developing conservation and restoration guidance, tools, and metrics that are used globally. But in order to fight the climate change and biodiversity crisis, we need more. We need to start looking at providing technical guidance around how to roll out renewable energy in a way that also meets the restoration and conservation goals that we need. And that's why at IUCN we are advocating that we start having and developing some new partnerships, and partnerships where we all bring our expertise, we bring our experiences together, and we work together to move the climate agenda and to make progress towards these goals that we need to work towards. And for that reason, I'm really proud as the Senior Program Coordinator for Climate Change within IUCN to announce the collaboration with RGI. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster, but it's been an enjoyable roller coaster for the past 2 years. RGI is not a new organization. I'm going to leave it to Antonella to describe. What I will say is that they have over 15 years of experience in really looking at and supporting the rollout of energy grids, energy systems in a sustainable manner that looks at the environment and that also looks at the needs of local communities. So we're really proud to be working with RGI on this initiative. And I'm going to leave it to Antonella now to describe a little bit more about RGI, a little bit more about GINGR, our new initiative, and then we'll follow on with a formal welcome by our Director General of IUCN, Dr. Gretel Aguilar. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Rachel. Okay. Put it on. Now it works. Thank you very much and welcome everybody. Thanks for having us. I'm Antonella Battaglini. I'm the CEO of Renewables Grid Initiative. It is a collaboration of transmission system operators, climate and environmental NGOs. It's a crazy alliance. And it was even crazier 15 years ago when we started. But now, actually, if we want to solve all the challenges that we have, we need to have these crazy alliances. 3 years ago, we set up Ocean, so we actually expanded our membership to include the wind industry, because offshore wind and wind plays such a critical role in the decarbonization pathways. In these 15 years of experience, what has happened is that we have collected a lot of practices on how to build well, because building well is the only way to build all we need. And this is not enough. It's not enough to collect practices and to share in a small community. What we really need is to come up with assessment criteria that can give confidence to the different stakeholders, to governments, to NGOs, that we are moving not only towards decarbonization, but towards nature net positive. We know that we need to deal with the biodiversity losses, and we need to restore and protect nature. To do this, we cannot do it in a competitive way. It's not possible that I develop my tool, you develop your tool, and you yours, and we compete with each other. We need to collaborate much more. And that's where I decided that a collaboration with IUCN was the best bet that I could have. Working together, IUCN has decades of experience in coming up with frameworks and programs. And therefore, I'm really honored to be here today to launch GINGR. GINGR is not mine or Rachel's, it's not a IUCN or RGI. Rachel's the ambition to be our platform where we really develop together something that it is robust, something that can be deployed at scale, and something that can speed up energy security, climate security, and biodiversity security. And with this, I would like to pass the word to Dr. Greta Aguilar, the Director General of IUCN. Greta.
Good morning, and thank you. Thank you for your words, and thank you, Rachel. So, welcome to the IUCN Pavilion, of the International Union for Conservation of Nature. As you can see here, we named this pavilion Home of the Union, because IUCN is a union, and we also call it Unite for Nature, I think, Unite for Nature. So welcome all to our pavilion. IUCN is the world's largest and most diverse environmental network, and is the global voice of nature. We are active in more than 160 countries and implement projects, advise governments, and collaborate with the private sector. Within the knowledge of 16,000 experts and the backing of almost 1,500 members organizations, including governments, civil society, indigenous peoples organizations, we help set the international conservation agenda and influence global environmental policy. This work extends to renewable energy, we just heard this, which IUCN has focused on for the past 5 years. Our main work is in this field supports the rapid rollout of renewable energy to meet climate goals, especially helping the achievement of the Paris Agreement's 1.5-degree target. Crucially, we help ensure that the energy transition does not come at the expense of biodiversity and nature-dependent communities. Our work ranges from publishing guidelines on mitigating the biodiversity impact of solar and wind energy developments, to collaborating with renewable projects to supporting the implementation of these projects for net biodiversity gain. This is critical because as the world increasingly uses renewable sources of energy, we must avoid repeating the mistakes of the fossil fuel era. We need to work together, not only to avoid and mitigate the negative impacts on nature and livelihoods, but also to ensure that the renewable energy sector contributes to nature-positive goals. For this reason, I am happy to be part of the launch of the Global Initiative for Nature Grids and Renewables, otherwise known as, we have heard before, GINGR, which I think is a wonderful, actually, name. For too long, grid development has not enjoyed the attention it deserves from the conservation community, but grids are essential, not only to address the dual climate and biodiversity crisis, but also to alleviate the energy access crisis that still affects tens of millions of people globally. For this reason, I am happy to see IUCN collaborating with the Renewable Grids Initiative, an organization that has worked for over 15 years on aligning nature with the development of electrical grids. Friends, partners, ministers, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I look forward to hearing about the success of GINGR and inviting you all to join us in this important endeavor. You know, here at the COP, many people are saying that, and we, of course, in the House of the Union, we say that climate change and nature are one, and that we will not achieve the targets that we have proposed without nature as our best ally. And this is what this initiative is about. We are crossing the street, and we are talking with the energy sector, and we are bringing the solutions that nature needs to strive and to help in this fight against climate change. So thank you. Thank you very much.
So, thank you very much. And now we are going to experience something completely new. I never tried this before. We have so many speakers. I want to make a testimonial. So it will be like a marathon. And at a certain point, the executive vice president is going to arrive much earlier than we had planned. Just got a call. He's coming. So we will see. He has to be rushed to the airport afterwards. But we go and we follow our plan somehow. Flexibility is the most important characteristic these days. And so I would like to call Group 1, which is Marisa from BOEM, Dean from WWF, please come on stage, Salem Fakir, I don't see him, please, from the African Climate, Anna Rafsor, Anna, and Osama El Gabali. Perfect. Now, you want to know how it works? Well, we start actually with Marisa. You get the microphone, and then you pass it, okay? Good. And then I want it back.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Thank you so much, Antonella and Rachel, for the invitation to RGI and IUCN. It's really an honor to join you all today for the launch of RGGI. My name is Marisa Knodel. I am the Senior Advisor to the Director of the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management, which is an agency within the Department of the Interior at the United States. And we are responsible for the sustainable development of ocean energy on the Outer Continental Shelf, which includes offshore renewable energy like offshore wind. Still good? Okay. And just a personal side note, I worked briefly at the Environmental Law Center at IUCN in Bonn, so this feels a little bit like a homecoming, so thank you. All right, so as the GINGR framework acknowledges, we need to take swift action to advance renewable energy, to combat the climate crisis, and do so in a way that promotes best practices for biodiversity and conservation, and that's particularly true in the context for offshore wind. In the United States, we are working to meet those integrated goals by establishing the very first national goal for offshore wind, which is 30 gigawatts by 2030, and then 15 gigawatts of floating offshore wind by 2035. And we are well on our way to achieving that with 4 offshore wind lease sales just during this administration, opening up offshore wind potential on all of our coasts. And we've approved our very first 6 commercial scale offshore wind projects. And we're doing that all while to improve our permitting and engagement practices. In addition, the Department of the Interior is aiming to conserve 30% of America's lands and waters by 2030 as part of the America the Beautiful initiative. and I'm honored to be here to join you all today for GINGR.
That's a good close.
Thank you. I'm going to be brutal and cruel.
Tell me, how long have I got, Antonella? 1 minute. Okay, starting from now. Okay. All right, so very pleased to be here. Key word in all of this, together. And I think that is a critical aspect that we're trying to join, to bring all of these different parties together who recognize the need for this link between energy and nature. As far as we're concerned, WWF, my name's Dean Cooper, I'm our global energy lead. I've been doing energy for 30 plus years, long time. So I know the situation, I know the issues, and to find the nature context, for me, coming to WWF was a real eye-opener. I've been talking about energy to other energy people, not to the broader world, and it's important to understand that. So our mission is to look at 100% renewable energy, but to do it faster, greener, and fairer. Faster, we'll talk about afterwards. It's got to be a lot quicker than 2050. Fairer, just energy transformation is critical. Greener is the important aspect. And I have to say thank you so much to Antonella for saying ocean. We've just put together a coalition linking energy and nature for action, because we want action. Think about your acronyms. That's clean, clean action. We're going to work together with ocean so that we have a joint activity achieving joint common goals.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is, I've been at, I established the first country office in South Africa, and very nice to see Lucy, who still looks very young, and Vale, who is running it now. Oh, there we go. I'm learning new tricks. I run the African Climate Foundation, and it's really exciting to see that you're launching something that is needed on the continent. We are very active in a number of countries. And one of the main things we are looking is to combine the expansion of renewables with grid capacity. And I want you to please focus on that. It's important to have proper grid capacity if you want high levels of utility scale installation of renewables. This is the big challenge in South Africa at the moment. And watch South Africa's biodiversity, management of biodiversity, and the program, Renewables program. It's a big issue politically. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, my name is Anna. 2 numbers, because I have very limited time and I want to respect that. Renewables, we need to triple. We know this since just a few days ago. Second is grids. 80 million kilometers of new or grid replacements need to be rolled out by 2040 if we want to meet our net zero targets. That's an IEA number that's quite recent. So that's a lot of scale. That means that we need to bring that into the nature and the biodiversity dialogue. The Global Renewables Alliance was brought that I represent here was brought into life 1 year ago, unifying 6 industry associations across renewables: solar, wind, geothermal, hydro, green hydrogen, and storage, long-term duration storage. So we're bringing that together to show that the industry is taking that sustainability at heart and wants to work on that going forward.
Good morning, my name is Osama from Egypt, Ministry of Environment and the Migratory Soaring Birds Project. As you mentioned, collaboration and partnership is crucial. Egypt has succeeded to take actions to conserve nature and the migratory birds in the second most important flyway for migratory soaring birds, in collaboration between Government of Egypt, represented by Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Electricity, BirdLife International, developers, and IFIs. We are conducting shutdown and demand for bird conservation. We are securing financial commitment from private sector by 1,000 euro per megawatt per year for bird conservation and protection of nature to make energy projects in Egypt are green projects and sustainable projects. Thank you.
Lovely. I think they need an applause. They were really good. Thank you very much. So we are going to group 2. And we are missing Minister Eamon Ryan. Well, we will start without him. What shall I say? In the zoo, it's difficult to get people. I must congratulate these 2 ladies here. Ladies are always stronger. So let's get group 2. Hilde, please, from Statnet. Kaki, Andrews, yes. The Philip, you are here with us. Kate, and Dr. Fu, please. So you know the rules. And
We're terrified.
and you are missing the minister. Well, if you are lucky, actually, as he arrived. Oh, Maros, such a nice pleasure to see you again.
I don't see myself on the table, so you know.
You're always welcome. It has been ages since we met last. Please come. So Group 2 has lost a minister and has won an executive vice president of the European Union. So I guess you wait for a moment, because I know he has to rush to the airport, and you can sit down, you can relax. You will get the podium. Maros, I think we should actually introduce you to the Director General of IUCN. You need a...
Thank you very much.
And the floor is yours. And before you go, we take a picture, all the speakers together. The floor is yours. You want this?
How long?
3 minutes.
Wow. Okay. That's that's why I have the good friends. You know, I mean, you have a special treatment, but. I really would like, first and foremost, to thank you for the invitation. And with Tina, we already had a couple of meetings. And you see she's permanently in a good mood. And that's a good sign she's ready for the presidency. Yeah. Because we need good Belgian presidency, because it would be a very, very demanding year. But you know, a couple of words on what you are going to discuss today: global initiative on for nature, grids, and renewables. I think that these 2 weeks here, of course, the big topic is not only how to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, but also how to restore biodiversity. That we have to tackle these two crises at the same time. And how to do it in combination, that we would get more and more energy from renewables, so that we would gain more and more power through energy efficiency, and at the same time we will not forget about nature, we will not forget about biodiversity, because we need to do much better in all these respects. And I think you already heard the plans we have in Europe, and of course we've been very proud that the last year actually, for the first time, we produce more energy from solar and wind than from gas. And this is a tendency which is not going only to stay, it will gonna accelerate. And we will have by 2030 more than 1,000 gigawatts coming from wind and solar. And just to tell you how it compares with current capacity, currently we are at 400 gigawatts. So clearly this is the plan which will bring the European capacity from renewable energy to much higher proportions, and I think that our electricity mix by 2030 will be approaching 80% of renewables, which I think it's quite remarkable when we look where we started, and it proves that this technology works and that we can achieve much better results. What are the major problems and bottlenecks? And this is the topic of your discussion: how all these new wind mills, how all these new photovoltaic panels, which are now more and more on roof in Belgium, in Slovakia, everywhere in Europe, how to get them connected to the grid, how to reduce the number of rejections, which is still very high in Europe, because you put your solar powers on your house, and simply the transmission system operator tells you, you know, I cannot carry your current because simply our grid is not equipped for such an intermittent source, and we just simply need to avoid the situation. They invest in renewables, and then we have to do so-called curtailing, meaning not using this renewable energy because we don't know how to get it to the consumers. So we need to upgrade our grids. We need to smarten them, we need to make them bidirectional, we need to digitize them, and of course we need to do it in total respect of the nature. So we look at it as how to deal with a win-win solution whereby renewable installation would provide benefits for the nature, and how can we do it to even use them for restoring the nature. So we already have the solutions where offshore wind installation would offer the space for the fish stock to recover. And the submerged parts of the installation would act as artificial reefs, providing new habitats for marine life. Wind turbines already have the technologies that can shut down when they detect approaching birds. So we would avoid unnecessary bird killing. And solar farms can become heavens for bees and other pollinators if combined with wildflower meadow vegetation. And I saw some of these projects, and it's really, really work. And of course, we need to simply bear always the nature and biodiversity in mind, where we are going to discuss how to improve grids, how to improve the infrastructure, and therefore the discussion you will have today will be also very important for us, because I know Tine, she's very smart lady, but she's a very good minister, and she would be very tough president of the council. And she will tell all of us, look, I heard this in Dubai, you have to be very careful, we have to build the grids that might be in full respect of the nature and biodiversity. Thank you very much for having me, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Maros. I would like to get all the speakers to come on stage for photos, and then we continue with our panels, okay?
Thank you for having us, absolutely.
So,
Hello, Executive Vice President. How are you?
We see each other,
Indeed, absolutely.
Now you found the competitor. Thank you very much. So with you, even the trains will go on time. I'm sure. No. But otherwise, yeah. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Could you
He needs to go next because he has to leave to do something for ICI in the German government, the one tall guy in the middle.
yes. So, we resume our panel program, and I would like to start with the tallest in the panel. Who is the tallest? Ah, Philip. Okay. How nice.
Thank you so much. 1 minute. Okay, my name is Philipp Behrens. I'm from Germany, from the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Climate Action, and in charge of the International Climate Initiative, the ICI. 3 reasons why your ambition is our ambition with regards to this initiative. First of all, we really need to increase renewables. In Germany, we have a target of 80% by 2030, and we strongly support the pledge to triple the capacity of renewables by 2030. In the International Climate Initiative, it's our program to support countries or developing countries, emerging economies, with regard to climate and biodiversity. And this is implemented by 2 or 3 ministries, one of which is the ministry I'm with, the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Climate Action, also in charge of energy. But we're doing that jointly with our friends from the Ministry of Environment. So the integration of environment, biodiversity and climate is one of our main missions. And we're trying to implement that with different projects. 2 projects we just started or just selected were agri-photovoltaic, and one which we are starting today is on grid expansion. And I'm very grateful for being here. We support your initiative, and I hand over the microphone, right?
Lovely. Second tallest?
I'm
I'm the second tallest? Okay. Okay. She told me. Okay, I'm Hilde Tonne. I'm the CEO of Statnett, the transmission system operator of Norway. We know that electrification and renewables are the keys to the climate crisis. We also know that there will be no transition without transmission. And then that is why we have put sustainability, as I started this job 2.5 years ago, we have put sustainability on top of our strategy, and nature positive is integrated into everything we do. We truly appreciate the initiative that you are doing here, and we very much appreciate being part of GINGR. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Kaki Andrews. I'm with Ocean Conservancy, and we are the co-lead for the offshore renewable energy sector of the UNFCCC Marrakesh Partnership, which is called for 380 gigawatts of offshore wind by 2030 while ensuring net positive for biodiversity. We think the GINGR initiative is both timely and critical because we have to do this together. We have to make sure we're scaling up renewables at the pace and scale that we need to meet our climate goals while also addressing the biodiversity goals. Ocean Conservancy looks forward to engaging with all the partners to make this effort a success. Thank you.
Perfect. Hi everyone, I'm Kate Wallace-Lockhart from SC Renewables. So obviously we know that energy is a product that people need, not something that they want, and we have a special privileged position to deliver it in a sustainable way. So if we think that actually from a renewables perspective, we're harnessing nature's resources, then we have a special obligation to protect nature at the same time and also focus on our own decarbonisation and how we prevent the filling of land use of landfills, from resource use. Now, when it comes to GINGR, delighted to be here and to be part of the initiative. We need GINGR to do 3 things. Firstly, we need to all be calling for non-price criteria to be factored into how we deliver renewable assets. We need to stop penalising those that are committed to doing more from actually being able to deliver it. Secondly, we need to make sure that we have standardised methodologies. SSE Renewables is committed to biodiversity net gain onshore by 2025 onwards, and we've put our toolkit for quantifying biodiversity net gain into the public domain, completely open source with the toolkits, the methodologies, everything. You can go use it, go on our website. And thirdly, we need to share data because nature is interconnected. Those 3 things.
Okay, thank you. Hi, my name is Fu, coming from China, and I run 2 of the 3 major oil and gas petroleum companies in China in the past 40 years. Now I'm running a carbon neutrality academy for the carbon neutrality. And I would like to state 4 concepts. First one, that one action is better than 1,000 promises. Action, action, action. Second, that the competing with climate change is an opportunity of growth, is opportunity of economics for long run. Don't look at the challenges or difficulties today, but tomorrow, if we are consistent fighting with them, we will be there with a green society. And third one, no country alone can fight for the climate change. We have to work together. Fourth one, that all those pushing forward is technology, investment technology. However, all those things need financial support, need business involvement. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now we go to group 3, which is also our last group. We are doing very well. And we have mentioned that grids are important. I would like to say, yes, there is no transition without transmission, but in reality, the power is in the grid, all voltage. So my next group is, sorry, I need to read it because the upcoming presidency of the European Union. Tine, please come on stage. Giles, the best man of the wind industry, please. Irene Gomez, please. On stage, Rhiannon from Bird Life and Rasmus. And Eamon, what a lucky panel. Yeah. A bit late, but you made it. Thank you. So Imo doesn't know the rule. The microphone goes very fast, and if it doesn't move, I grab it. And let's start with Tine.
Thank you, Antonella. I'm going to begin with saying no to you. No, we are not a crazy alliance. We are ginger, and what is ginger? Ginger is spicy. You bring spice to the debate, to the conversation, to policy. So we are a spicy alliance. And when do you take ginger? If you want to boost your immunity system. And that is, of course, what's all about. Because we cannot have climate or energy security without doing it right. And doing it right means including nature from the beginning, from the design, not afterwards. We did it in Belgium with the energy island that we are building. We include nature measures in the beginning. And dear Antonella, I have a present for you. Maroš Šefčovič told me to be a tough president. I will be. I will give you my speech. And then in the upcoming 6 months, if whenever you think that I forgot what I've said here, then you can remind me with my speech.
Yes. Great. Thank you. I think I do Mr. Wind.
Thank you, Antonello. I'm Giles Dixon. I run Wind Europe. We represent all of the wind farm developers, owners and operators in Europe and the supply chain for both onshore and offshore wind. We tell our members they must minimize and mitigate the potentially negative nature impacts of wind farms, and that they must exploit ruthlessly the positive nature impacts of wind energy. Aquaculture, artificial reefs on the seabed, fish hotels. The Netherlands are farming oysters for the first time in 100 years, thanks to wind energy, for example. We set up the Ocean Coalition with RGI, and we are honored also to be a founding member of GINGR. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. This is Irene from the Spanish TSO. The urgency of the climate crisis is that we need the grids to develop the renewables, but this is not a blank check. We have to design the grids with net positive impact. And I have to say that to measure this is a nightmare sometimes. So your initiative is a blessing, Antonella, is a blessing, Ethel, because we need standards. We need standards to measure. We need to compare, and we need to collaborate. So thank you for this remarkable initiative.
Thank you. Rhiannon?
Thanks, everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm Rhiannon Niven from BirdLife International, international global network of 120 partner organizations. And we're pleased to be a Ginger Ninja. Can I create that as a term? Ginger Ninja, yeah. So we're here to, come together, bring BirdLife's expertise, our work around the world in bringing together tools. We have Avastep, a spatial mapping tool. We coordinate the Convention of Migratory Species Energy Task Force, bringing together multi-stakeholder platforms, and keen to keep working together, calling on the Belgium's minister's statement around ginger as has healing properties as well. Let's see if we can heal nature, people, and climate.
Hi, everybody. My name is Rasmus Goff. I represent the offshore wind developer Ørsted. Really pleased that finally we have plays on the name Ginger on the stage as well, because we don't have a code Ginger for nature and climate. We have a code Red, and therefore I think it's incredibly important that we triple renewables as soon as we can, at latest by 2030, of course. I think part of that, we need to see nature protection as a massive opportunity. I think avoiding and mitigating, very important, but achieving positive impacts, I think, is incredibly important too. I think it's important both for nature, but it's also important for the energy transition. It's a structural barrier potentially that can create opposition to the energy transition, and we need to make sure that we address that upfront. In Ørsted, we have a 2030 target that all of our projects will achieve net positive biodiversity impacts. We think that needs to be an industry standard practice. So thanks very much for this. We look very much forward to seeing both how you develop this initiative, but also how you bring other actors together, because I think coordination is incredibly important.
We do it together.
And I don't know what I'm doing here. What the whole thing is about? It's a beauty contest, or just two thoughts. The switch to renewables is centred to stopping the world burning. It's the peace project of our time. It's various aspects of this we need to get right. Firstly, for justice, the 650 million people in Africa, they have to get access to electricity first. In the likes of Europe, everywhere we start with the same principles. But in Europe, we have a real issue about speed now and about making sure nature is restored as we develop. And I think central to the characteristics of renewables which can make it work is it's distributed. It belongs to everyone. It's ubiquitous. But we need to involve communities. I was listening to you in The Hague 2 weeks ago. Yes. And I think what you said, Antonella, I've been repeating ever since. If we want to go fast, we have to include. We have to listen. We have to share, be transparent, and we have to put nature restoration into the mix. And not just the mix, it has to be center stage as we listen and develop and devise. I hope that's okay.
That's okay. You stay, you go, you go, you go, you stay, you go. And Rachel stays. So we have never done this before. It's like a speaking marathon. I don't know. Very great. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot to all of you. Ginger is a new crazy idea. It comes out by two crazy women, you know? And up to now, we have been quite lonely in this journey. It was like a dream. It was a recognition that we need to go beyond competition into collaboration. Now we need all of your support to make it into a reality. These assessment criteria, these methodologies, there is a lot out there, but we need everyone to agree on what is valid and what is not. And so this is an open call to Tina, the upcoming presidency of the European Union, and one of the most active, those small member states in Europe, be our champions. Please, champion Ginger. You can take it whenever you have a cold, it's good, but we need champions. And so I hope that you will be the champions of Ginger, and together with the IUCN, of course, Rachel, you can also come on stage. But we really like to make this something relevant for the entire world, and so that everyone can progress as quickly as possible. And because ladies have to go first, yes, then we take a man for inclusion.
Okay. So at the beginning of this, I said it had been a roller coaster. I think a lot of you didn't believe me. I think now you do. It has been a roller coaster, and I just want to repeat what I said at the beginning. No one region, no one group will win the climate challenge alone. If we're not together, we all lose. And that, for me, is the main thrust of Ginger. Let's do it together. Let's do it globally. Let's learn from each other. There's a lot of learning out there. There's a lot of challenges, but there's a lot of learning, and we can move really fast if we do it together. Thank you.
And it's all about the grid. And my neighbour's security is, if their security is enhanced, then mine is enhanced. That's why Africa and Europe have to be so much together in this. We're neighbours. But also in Europe, we're close by, we're close together. We need to trust each other and share with each other power, because that sharing and that collaboration is needed. And then you get down to the community. And this applies, that principle of working together, collaborating applies at every level, continental, national, and down to community.
You want the microphone?
I'm ready to be a champion, but you know, when you win championships, if you are a team, and also if you are many, many people who push you forwards and who push you over the line. So I count on you, and maybe I would say, you just give them a round of applause, those two crazy ladies. They call themselves crazy ladies. And I think that can be a little louder yet. Thank you for all you do. You can count on me.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Well, in IUCN is a union. So I'm very happy to see in this home of the union governments, non-governmental organizations, and people from different continents talking about renewables. I think that this is a good start. I want to thank Rachel because she has been a champion in IUCN, and you, Antonella, of course. This is not crazy at all. Ginger, I think that we will see many ginger everywhere in the world. I come from Latin America, so we also have to talk about renewable in different parts of the world because it's the only hope that we can have to improve. So thank you very much to all. And just to say, we have 70 events, 12 receptions in this pavilion, so you are all invited. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
America very much shows up. In some ways, I think